we're back.
Just say Julie, ba ba ba, yeah.
Hi, welcome back to Just Say Julie. I'm Julie Brown.
And I'm Benny.
Good. We have taken a lot. This is Obi. Look, the people that thought I wouldn't keep him, I did. I did keep him. And look at him, he's like a gigantic lion now.
I still tell her to give him away.
She did, and then I left town for a little bit, and she said she was going to take him to the forest and let him go. But she's really too good a friend to do something like that.
I only pretend on purpose.
Yeah, I know. And I would have sued you or something, right? No, I would have made you go with me to find him.
He would have been eaten by then.
A lot has happened since we did the last podcast.
I think say why you wanted to start the podcast back up and maybe why we ended.
Okay, we ended it because, well, specifically, Benny edits it, and she got so busy with her job at the restaurant.
Yes.
Which she no longer has. And
add it to the list.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was super busy, and it was just really hard. Since then, I found out that a lot of people have trouble keeping up with their podcasts because they're hard, and you don't get paid.
Nope.
And you're just doing this for sort of the love of doing it. But so many people said they love the podcast and they wanted us to do it again. So I'm counting on those people to watch this and subscribe. Anybody subscribe, because I think in the long run it'll help us. I don't know how, but it will. So it's been like 3 months or something.
Mate, I have literally
no idea either. But a lot's happened. So, okay. I have since then been on a bunch of horrible hinge dates. Horrible. One guy, the first guy I'm thinking of, just randomly thinking about it, he met me and he started off saying, hi, I just had a stroke. So I'm like, okay. Like, this is right away. He also said he's a big gamer, meaning he does LARP. You know LARP?
That's not being a gamer.
Well, he's a gamer and a LARPer. So, as he's talking, I'm just going, okay, I think saying I had a stroke right off the bat is a turnoff. So that didn't work out. And let's see, who was the other one that I went out with recently? That was
the oil rig manager.
Oh yeah. Okay, I 100% forgot about that.
I said, did you go out with him?
No.
I said,
yeah, there was a guy, and he looked in, if you squinted your eyes, like Jeff Bridges, who's one of my dream men. He didn't really look like Jeff Bridges. I was talking about my son who's at University of Michigan, learning environmental policy. So the guy goes, your son probably wouldn't like what I do at all. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, this is probably not good. And I tell her, and what was it you said?
I said, you can't date a guy who works on an oil rig.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what she said.
That's just pretty much the ins and outs of that.
I know. And he goes, I'm going to call you for the weekend. We're going to go out. And I'm like, it's not that far where you live. Never called, but I'd already decided not going out with the oil rig guy. I know. Then recently, I thought, okay, I'll try something totally different. So there's a guy who wrote to me, and he was younger by a lot. I think the bar's getting really low, is what we've decided.
Well, what we've learned from me is that no matter how low you set the bar, they'll still disappoint you.
They'll still disappoint you. So this guy shows up, and I asked him what he did, and he said, well, I'm a musician, and I'm a trader, and I'm trying to get my stuff placed in commercials. And like anytime, if you're in LA specifically, someone goes on and on about their various jobs, it means they don't really have a job. Or that's what it means. That's what it equals. So he had like too many jobs, which I can't even really figure out what he was saying. And then he said, I go, well, what do you do? And he's like, well, I smoke marijuana a lot for creativity, for his songs. He goes,
God.
I know. He goes, don't you do that? I go, no, I do not. I go, I don't even drink. And he's like, I could see, he goes, I play a lot of softball with my friends. Like, all of these things are just like, ew. He's never been married, which he's younger, so maybe that was okay, but he just was not like a serious person. you know, and I guess I'm looking for someone who has more going on, like more established in their life. So then Benny had some really interesting hinge dates.
I dated. What even is dating anymore? I went through the talking stages and the hooking up stages with 2 clowns named Kevin.
Just like right now, I've totally forbid her from dating any more Kevin.
I'm forbidden from dating Kevins, and I'm off the market for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
Because, boy oh boy, have I been at the carnival.
Yes, she has. Talk about the first Kevin.
Okay, so Kevin 1 was an engineer, and I liked that because I haven't dated someone who wasn't an actor or like a writer or musician or something. So it was nice to have him talk about something so tangible and concrete.
Right, and he makes robots too, or
he
something.
makes
right?
robots.
Yeah. And I was like, thumbs up, engineer. Good
I
one.
thought it was really cool, and I really liked him. And we were dating for like a month. We went out like 3 or 4 times.
We'd also explain the texting, because
Yes.
they texted all the time, and she'd say, he just texted this, what does this mean? Or like, he's not texting back. And see, I think for my generation, there isn't constant texting. So when she would say he hadn't texted back in like an hour, I'd be like, so she goes, no, that's really bad. I'm like, okay.
I don't know if I hope I wasn't that.
No,
I don't think
well,
it was that
let's say it'd
intense.
be 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'd say
no.
that's bad.
Well, what I think is bad
Yeah.
is when you're talking with someone and there's some sort of consistency over a couple of weeks. Like, let's say 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You've had some sort of consistency, and it's like when that changes, that's sort of like a signifier that something has changed with them.
Yeah.
But I hate it because it's so subtle and it's so without real interaction, so you don't really know what's going on.
Right, you can't hear their tone of voice or anything.
Wait, so I started dating him, we hooked up, and we both said we're not seeing anyone else, and we had been going out, and then I texted him like, oh, hey, just so you know what's going on in my life, I've been in the ICU with my grandfather. He had a really horrible stroke.
Oh,
I guess
stroke!
This is the stroke episode.
Okay, all right.
He had a really horrible stroke, and I had been in the ICU with him for a couple of days straight, and I didn't tell the guy because I didn't want him to feel like that was his job to emotionally be there for me for something like that. So I just said, hey, just so you know, that's what's happening with me. And literally a day later, he sent a text that's like, oh, this isn't gonna work. I'm not dating anyone. I'm gonna not date for a while, which is just code for like, it's over.
It's over.
Which
But,
I
like,
thought was crazy.
It's crazy, like nothing happened other than maybe mentioning a stroke is really rough on the other person. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm tempted to text him and ask,
Yeah.
but it's like, does he even really know? Maybe not.
No, why you broke up? No. You know, he probably doesn't. And we have a theory now that the way guys are, because it didn't used to be like this, but that's because we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have online dating apps. Because guys had to make a real effort to date you. They had to call you. They had to do something. They'd ask your friend if she'd go out or likes you or whatever. So now, though, we think that guys think, well, here's this girl, but I have all kinds of other hot girls on my phone.
Who are single.
Who are single, but not that they're really available to them, but they think delusionally that they are available.
Yeah.
So they know they can go home and look at them, like look at their faces, but so we think it's made men be less like present, right?
Yeah. Isn't it so boring to be straight a little bit?
Yeah, I fooled around and when I first came to LA, so I did some adventures. So I'm not
with women.
Yes, I told you that. I told you that.
With just a woman?
A couple women. But the thing
I
is,
didn't know this.
there was marijuana and a hot tub involved and but it was like, what's funny about it? Because I'm not
The whole thing?
the whole thing. I'm not really attracted to women. I think women are beautiful, but I'm like, I was kind of like roped into it by the guy, the older guy who was organizing this whole hot tub party, and I'm like, okay, but I kind of went, all right, like I'll see what that's like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't terrible or anything, but it wasn't like I felt myself attracted or super into it.
Yeah.
So in a way, I feel like I kind of know You know, I kind of know. Even though I have zero against people, you know, people of any kind mixing it up with of any other kind, right?
Yeah.
I just other than children. Okay, but
I'll probably cut that out. Probably
Okay.
just do a little
okay,
edit.
okay. But I don't have any, you know, I think everything is good if, you know, people are adults. I do. So I don't feel lame because of that. Maybe you should try a woman. I don't know. At least go, oh, I did that, you know.
The lesbians love me. People often think I'm into women.
Because you dress kind of guy-like.
I guess.
Yeah.
I've always dressed this way since I was a kid.
Well, that's why they like you, you know.
What can I say? Wait, I'll tell them about Kevin too.
Please, I was
So-
going to lead you into that.
One, if there's a psychic watching, why are all of these clowns at the carnival named Kevin?
Yeah.
Because clearly that's a sign of some kind for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like you cannot go out with a Kevin again.
I've literally never even known a Kevin.
I know. There aren't that many.
I agree.
Okay, talk about
So,
Kevin 2.
Kevin 2.
This is how we refer to them, Kevin 1 and Kevin 2.
Kevin 2 is the king clown of the carnival. He's the one organizing the entire situation. I met him, and he said all the right things. First, we went to coffee. Then he drove all the way out to me, because I live a bit outside the city these days. So he drove all the way out to me, took me to a super nice dinner. Then he went on vacation on the East Coast. The whole time that he was gone, we were texting, not like 24/7, but
But
you
a
know,
lot.
check-ins
Yeah.
during the day. And he called me a few times. He called me when he was drunk once, and he was really sweet. It was a short conversation. It wasn't lingering. He was just like, I really miss you, and like I really like you, and I just
That's
want
what
to
he
be.
said?
Yes, and he was like,
I didn't know he said that.
yeah, that's all he said. He was like, I just like really miss you, and I want to be with you, and I really like you. And I was like, that's the cutest thing ever. Goodbye. But
Right.
like, and then the next day he called me. We talked for like 3 hours on the phone.
Did you have phone sex with him?
We had phone sex. Regrets, I guess, now that it was
Regrets.
super hot.
Don't regret that. Don't regret that. Even though you hate him now.
But what I regret is the fact that he was like, I told my mom about you. She
That
thinks
is
you're so
just
cute.
so terrible. Because that's like laying a foundation for a future.
Yes, and he was talking. It's not like we were codependently building our futures together, but he had sort of brought up like, yeah, you know, like I make money, like I want to support someone. I'd like he was saying that, and I wasn't really taking it seriously, but what I was taking in was like, he sort of sees this going somewhere.
That's like the hottest thing a guy could say. So
Right.
like, yeah, that he's really evil for saying that. If he didn't mean it.
And then he goes, I said, I want to see you before, you know, because we had a date scheduled for a while later. I said, I want to see you before then. He's like, oh, well, maybe you can pick me up from the airport. And I was like, that's crazy that you just asked that. Like,
But she did it.
but I did because I thought it was cute.
When I heard about it, I was like, no, never pick someone up from the airport. In the future, you know.
Now I know.
Never. Okay, go on. So you pick
So I
him
pick
up.
him up from the airport. We go back to his place. We hook up. And it was fine. Wasn't that good.
And
But because of what he had been saying, I was willing to
you're willing to put a positive spin
Yes,
on it.
I was willing to, you know, be okay with it.
Right, I get that.
And then, just like the next date came, we were supposed to see a show. I drive out to LA. He's being ever since we have sex, basically no more texting, no more talking, which is like, Jesus Christ. And it's not like I'm sleeping with guys on the first date either. This is like
Second
3
date.
weeks of talking.
Yeah, with 3 weeks of talking, yeah.
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 I don't know.
No,
I felt like that's kind of an appropriate amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe it's too fast. I don't know.
Well, I guess for clowns on Hinge it is,
Clearly.
you know. Okay, then you were going to drive out to where he lives.
Yes, so I have to drive out to the city early so I'm not sitting in traffic for 2 hours. And I'm like trying to text him, trying to pin him down. What's going on? Should I meet at your place? Should we meet there? And he goes, oh, sorry, I haven't been ignoring you. I'm just so busy with work. And it's like, no, you're not. And he's like, all I can do is like meet at the place and you can't come over because someone's staying with me. But, you know, we can get a drink. And I was just like, well, I can't like be having a bunch of drinks. Like if I'm driving an hour home. And he just like didn't care about anything that I had put into this. I had like bought a new dress, which I felt so stupid. And then
you can use that dress for another occasion.
I can use the dress for another occasion, but it was just I just texted him like let's just like cancel the date like you
But I said it. She
Julie
called
told me
and I said, you know you could cancel, because I felt like he was just chipping away at the foundations of being a good date and being a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, you can not stay over, but we can meet you for a drink, but you drive an hour and a half. And like, I'm like, no, like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Right? So you said you're too, it sounds like you're too busy, right?
Yeah, I said it sounds like you're just too busy. I guess let's just hang out another day. And he goes, unfortunately, I agree.
That's so weird. Weird words anyway, weird wording.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I agree. Ugh.
It's like, just say you're not interested. Like, I know everyone who's listening is a good person. And
Yes,
I
we know. We know any of our fans would be good people and never act like us.
I know, because you wouldn't.
Wouldn't.
You wouldn't do that.
No.
But, like, it really, I don't even know what it makes me, I'm worried Obi's gonna hit the mic.
Okay, Obi's gone.
It makes me sad that people think that their interactions don't affect the other person. Like,
Right.
just, I guess, say if you're only looking for sex. Say,
But they think you'll run away.
but I don't want that. So if they're lying and saying that they want a relationship and then they actually just want sex, I'm the one getting hurt.
Yeah, and
Because my
they
expectations.
don't care.
Yes, exactly.
It's pretty messed up. And I like what I said to the guy, the LARPer, he wanted to go out again, and I said to him, look, you're such a sweet person. I really like meeting you. I just think we're both a little too different for each other, and so I don't think it'll work. And then he wrote me back, like, thank you so much for being honest. And I don't feel bad about that interaction, because I think I made him feel good. I told him he's a great person and all that. So I don't understand, like, how people can just be mean about it.
I think if you haven't like crossed any physical barriers, I think that
You can.
What-
You
I
can drop
think-
him off a cliff.
I think it's more appropriate to drop them off a cliff. I think once you kiss or once you've had sex, like there is some emotional
Yeah.
payment or what's the word? Emotional compensation
Commitment or
something.
obligation. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I can't get to that point unless I can't sleep with them. Just, I haven't been able to do that because if I don't like them, and I haven't liked anybody, so, I just haven't. So I haven't gotten there.
I think the problem is that I've liked these guys.
Yeah, so I feel really bad for you, because that's a more emotional commitment on your part. And then for them to behave that way, and it's so cliche for guys to act like that. Like, be original, right?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, like. So anyway, but those have been our dating lives.
Yes.
Since we were last on Just Say Julie. That's been a lot, actually. We just said a lot of stuff.
I know, I think
and
so
then
too.
working wise, Benny left the restaurant. Were you fired or did you quit?
I quit because I was working on Barbie.
Oh, that's right. She was a PA on the Barbie movie. Were you PA or was it a different job?
I started as a PA and then I ended up basically being the construction buyer.
The director.
And then I ended up taking Greta Gerwig's position. They felt I was a better fit for the role.
Yeah. So she worked on that, and then you moved out of your apartment.
Yes, and then, so I lived alone for like 5 months, which was a great experience.
Yeah, it is really
and
great.
I loved my old apartment.
I know, it was so cute.
much.
It was in Hollywood. It was adorable. It was right, like, a couple blocks from under the Hollywood sign. It was adorable. And
living with my parents.
Living with her parents now, because she was living in an apartment, and then her old boyfriend moved out, so she couldn't afford that right then. So she's living with her parents, which is both good and bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause
There are major pros and cons to living with your parents.
There really are, because most people's parents are nuts, but you can save money, right? And you're getting a lot done. You're getting a lot done.
I'm so busy right now that it's perfect.
Yeah, Benny wrote a short film that's really good, and there's people that want to produce it, and we're gonna have finance it, and we're gonna have a reading of that tonight. So I'm really happy for her.
Thanks.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
And she's working on her one-woman show.
Yes.
So, and let's see, what have I done? I went to, last weekend, I feel like I can't ever remember what I'm doing, but I can remember last weekend. They had screenings of Earth Girls Are Easy in Columbus, Ohio, 2 of them, and then one in Decatur, Indiana. And they flew me out there, and I did a whole Q&A and signing autographs. And it was the people are so sweet. It's like, they're so touching. It really like gets to me a lot.
I bet.
They tell you about what your work has meant to them. They're so genuine because they don't have any reason to, lie to you. And it's kind of overwhelming at times because you really, if you're empathic at all, which I feel like we both are, you feel like the energy from that person, and when they're telling you what their life is like and how it meant something to you, you can feel that. So, but ultimately it was a great experience. And the other thing that was amazing, my son goes to school, the University of Michigan, and he has never seen Earth Girls, which is, I know, weird, but his girlfriend is super into musicals. My son hates musicals, but he said, we can come down there. So they came and watched the show, the best one of the shows, with all this Q&A and all these people saying things about me, and he was like blown away. Now, I know it probably sounds really weird that he's not seen Earth Girls Are Easy, right? And he's 28. There's a reason. When he was really little, I showed him, he was really into animals. And my writing partner, Charlie Coffey, said, why don't you show him Just Say Julie, the episode on animals? So, Just Say Julie is very absurd. And the original Just Say Julie, not this one. And I had a shark bite my hand off. And my son got hysterical. He's like, oh my God, okay. And I go, so they made me do that. And he goes, who made you do it? And I go, Bob did. He goes, I hate that Bob. And then for the next week, he would just randomly go, I hate that Bob. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't show him anything because everything's too, like, for his little brain, he couldn't handle it. I'm his mom. He doesn't want to see me being sexual. He doesn't want to see me being like outrageous. Like, he doesn't want any of that. So I've never pushed him seeing my stuff. Obi, get away. I just haven't. So I figure he'll find it. A lot of his friends have seen it and they tell him about it. He did see Camp Rock, which, he didn't care about that much because he was a teenager when that happened, and he went with me to Canada, and he was like, oh yeah, okay, it's such a girl movie. But that was the best part of it, was him seeing it and being, and also it's all about the valley, and he loves the valley. So he couldn't believe that I had made a movie about the valley. So that part was super fun. So we've been doing, I'm sure I'm not remembering a lot of things, right, that have happened.
Well, we're going to have a million things because we're going to go get tea leaf readings and talk about them.
Yeah, we're going to do that this week.
We're going to eventually get our Mensa test.
Oh, yeah. Because people have said to me they really want to see us take the Mensa test because they don't believe we're geniuses and they want to see the results. If anybody has a really cute, adorable guy friend who's over between 50 and 60, please have them write to us. He has to be employed, tall-ish is good, and has a good sense of humor. That's not that hard, right?
I think, but also what you're ultimately going to want is that connection and the chemistry.
Sure, I really want someone who's a really super fun person, connects to me. So that is the hard element that's left off the dating apps because you have to meet them. So, and if he's had a stroke, I don't want to meet him, That's so weird, right?
That he had a stroke?
No, that someone would open with that.
It clearly just traumatized him and has really affected his identity.
I know. And but someone should tell him, don't say that,
Somebody should tell guys a lot of things.
Yeah, guys do so many bad choices. And the thing is, what women mostly are looking for is a normal, cute-ish person who does what they says they're gonna do, has a pretty good sense of humor. I mean, the bar is really low.
The bar is shockingly low.
So, like, get it together and don't post any pictures of you with your monkey or, you know, without your shirt on. And there's just so many dumb things. Like, if you show it to a friend who's a girl and go, does this work? They'll tell you.
Yeah. Trust them.
Trust them. So please subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more horror dating stories, and any number of things that we're gonna think of that we're gonna do. We're gonna do some readings from Lifetime movies. We're gonna do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in. That was insane.
That was great.
That was like,
Wow.
that was perfect.
Wow, that was kind of shocking.
Yeah.